Formula One has left the European circus and has come to the wonderful night race of Singapore. Welcome to the Singapore Grand Prix for 2019. The European season is long since done. Welcome to the first flyaway of the year. It's round 15, the Singapore Grand Prix at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. It's our 12th visit to this impressive facility. It's a city street circuit by day. By night, it is Formula One's first official night race. And it stops as round 15 on this incredible season, just a week's time, and then with the Russian Grand Prix. Japan in 2 weeks' time, well, that's going to be absolutely spectacular as we kick off, and we're off to Mexico, United States, Brazil, and all rounding out in Abu Dhabi on December the 1st. Lewis Hamilton leads the Drivers' Championship. He is a whopper in front of Valtteri Bottas, 284 points to 221. It's now a question of if Lewis Hamilton will win the title. It's a question when he will win his 6th Drivers' Championship. The real interest is the battle for third place between Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, both the other winners of this season, of course. Verstappen winning 2 of the last 6 races, Leclerc winning 2 of the last 4. He has been on fire, Leclerc, in the past few weeks, with victory at the Italian Grand Prix, putting him well ahead of his teammate of Sebastian Vettel, who's in 5th place on 169 points. Almost 100 back, that's Pierre Gasly in the Toro Rosso now in 6th place. Don't expect him to move any further up in the title this season though. Carlos Sainz therefore should take over 6th spot in the championship. What a great year that would be for McLaren to be best of the rest. Ricciardo is 8th on 34, he's level with Alexander Albon in the Red Bull. Danny Kvyat rounds out the top 10 on just 33 points. 11th and 12th, they're level. Hülkenberg and Raikkonen on 31 points. It is the battle for 8th in the title that is definitely going to be going on until the end of the year. 12th place, well, that's Raikkonen. 13th for Sergio Perez on 27. Lando Norris on 14th on 25 points. Stroll is 15th on 19. Magnussen just 1 point back. From 8th all the way to 16th is the battle we're going to see for the remainder of the year. Romain Grosjean looking to stay on for another year at Haas. He's only got 8 points to his name. Giovinazzi on 3. Kubica announcing his retirement from Formula One once again at the end of the year is only on 1 point. And George Russell still the only driver with no points on the board. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, well, Mercedes lead the way, 505 points. By this time in Mexico, they should be the Constructors' Champions. Ferrari only on 351, Red Bull on 266. Expect the battle between McLaren and Renault, followed by Toro Rosso, Racing Point, and Alfa Romeo, and even Haas, to be the watch at the end of the year. It is incredibly close, but Williams still in 10th on 1 point. It's the 2019 Singapore Grand Prix, and it's due to be an absolute classic. Hello everybody and welcome to your Thursday preview show, airing a bit later, of course, due to the difference of time of Singapore. Means everything's on a slight delay this weekend. You'll expect the same in a few weeks' time when we go to the Japanese Grand Prix. But this weekend in Singapore was coming with some great news. The following is that the fact that Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen will remain at Haas F1 for 2020. It also comes with that they've extended their contract with the two drivers based on their performance this year. It shocked everybody because nobody predicted the fact that Romain Grosjean would actually stay where he is at Haas. Everyone predicted that he would leave and Romain Grosjean would end up at IndyCar and that Nico Hülkenberg would come in. That hasn't happened, so Hülkenberg's now without a drive at the moment. More about him in a minute. Another factor is that it's breaking that the Rich Energy Company, which is the energy drink that is the sponsor of Haas F1, and they have parted company. So Haas F1 are without a title sponsor. Not that they need it with all the money, but still they've got no title sponsor. So Rich Energy are no more. They've been firm for 14 Grand Prix, but they are now out of Formula One. Fair dues. So Haas are now just back to being plain old Haas F1. Now, moving on to the story, the fact is that Robert Kubica has announced he is leaving Williams at the end of 2019. The incredible comeback story for Robert Kubica that everybody wanted in Formula One, myself included, has come to an end. He'll leave the sport and the team at the end of the year. So that leaves a space free at Williams. Now, number one to get that is Nicholas Latifi, the F2 driver, and the Canadian looks to be in good form after being the test driver for Williams this year. However, with Nico Hülkenberg now not going at Haas and not wanting at Renault, he is a former Williams driver, remember? He could end up back at them when he started his career back in 2010. That's not impossible, so we'll keep an eye out on that. Sergio Perez and his wife has welcomed a new baby daughter. We say congratulations to them too during the few weeks break. And of course, we have the news that the Singapore Airlines have continued to sponsor the Singapore Grand Prix until at least 2021. So it's all been quite quick throughout this weekend. So we've got loads of features coming up this weekend. It's going to be absolutely fantastic as well. But just going back to that point, about Hülkenberg, the driver market now seems to be closing down too much. There's not really anywhere where he can go. Williams is the only viable option, and if he doesn't go there, he's going to be out of Formula One. End of. McLaren has signed up, Mercedes has signed up, Ferrari, Haas now, Red Bull are locked down because, well, they're going to recruit from within. And Christian Horner said during the week he doesn't want to recruit outside of the driver program. If Vettel goes there, I doubt Hülkenberg's going to go into a top team. So really, with every other top team locked out, it looks likely he'll be sent towards Williams' way. So we'll just have to wait and see about that one. But coming into this weekend, it is the Singapore Grand Prix. It is a very, very, very difficult race. It's the maximum 2-hour distance, 61 laps ahead of us. And it's a tight street circuit as well with 24 turns. Let's take a look at it now in the Mercedes W10. Let's take a look then at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Been on the calendar since 2008 and it's historically been Mercedes' bogey circuit. They won here last year though, so let's go on board with the Mercedes W10 for 2019. Start the clock, down to turn 1. It's called Shears, it's a very tight one. Remember 2017, the contact that happened with the two Ferraris and Verstappen. It immediately tightens up into turn 3, a second-hand corner, which launches you back on to the actual circuit part of this track. Down now towards the flickered turn 5, 4th gear, as you launch down the back straight towards turn 6, full 8th gear, dare I say, put a little kick towards the wall before coming into turn number 7 at Memorial Corner, all the way down 3rd gear. Ride the curb at the exit before coming into turn 8 at Stamford, before coming down the boulevard into turn number 9 at Pagdanya. A very cheeky corner to get right, because if you get it wrong, you're into the wall. Coming now to turn 10, reprofiled 2013. This is, of course, the Singapore Sling, a 4th gear flick for backing yourself on to the Anderson Bridge. Of course, it's been reprofiled in 2016. We now use the other half before coming into the hairpin, the very tight, nasty one at turn 13, which always was to throw the car in the opposite direction. Down towards Coningott now at turn 14. It's a fast one to get right because you're back on the brakes, down to 2nd gear and try and ride the curve to the exit as much as possible. 15, 16 and 17 come on really quick. Reprofiled, of course, a few years ago, allows a much more smoother exit. Of course, it's where Piquet spun the car in 2008. Under the bridge then at the Marina Bay section at turn 18 and 19. They could be gone in a few years' time, so save it while you can. Turn 20 and 21 lead back on to the purpose-built section of the track at 22 and 23, 5th gear corners, open up the DRS at the exit, and you're across the line. That's a lap of the Marina Bay Street Circuit here, and it is an absolute cracker. It's the toughest one of the season for these drivers. 2 hours in the car, they all work to beat this race. Fantastic look around this circuit. It's actually one of the best of the season, in my opinion, because it always provides a safety car. 100% chance of a safety car record. It's just fantastic. Right, here's the coverage details for this weekend. We'll be back tomorrow at the slightly later time than usual. We'll be back tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. because it's the night race. Shoot me. We'll be back though at Saturday at the usual time. Sunday as well. We'll be at 1 o'clock with a pre-recorded programme from the Saturday night. So if anything changes, we'll update that in the morning. But It's going to be an interesting one. Join us tomorrow for the Friday practice review. It's going to be an absolute cracker here in Singapore. From us all here though, bye for now.